This is Abnormal Entertainment.
2, 3, 4. Walked into the tunnel just to find the light. Hunted for old demons, looking for a fight. Looked up at the stars, seemed to go forever. There must be a way, it all fits together. Fell into the quicksand, held on to the vines. Never could quite color, stay within the lines. Feels like I have wings, I can fly wherever. This is just a way, it all fits together. Finally saw the world through rose-colored glasses. Gonna share my journey to small and large masses. Give up on my life, no sir, me never. This is how I put it together. This is how I put it together. This is how I put it together.
Hey everybody, this is Daniel Carson and welcome to another episode of Put It Together. I'd like to start as usual thanking my producer, Mr. Kevin Morris, for all his help and support. Thank you, sir. Inviting all of you to join us at abnormalentertainment.com, where you can find all the shows on the network. Join us there, see what's up there. There's a show for everybody. Today, I'm pretty excited. We had a little pre-recording discussion because Kevin Darani, with an M, Darani. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
A little nervous, but good.
He's a little nervous. So he was nervous. For those of you who have been following me for a while, you guys know guests come on the show and they're nervous. They have this preconceived idea of what they're going to talk about. And I laugh because it never goes that way. But we're going to try and get to all the points that are important to you. But this is a show. It's a really relaxed show. Just like we were talking before we started recording. That's the show now. We're just going to talk about your life. And like most of my guests, there was something about the interaction with you in the beginning, and I'll tell folks how we met, that intrigued me. And I was like, I need to talk to this guy. I want to know where it comes from. So let me give you guys a little background. So as many of you know who have followed me for a while, I'm a Facebook fan. I live on Facebook, and mainly because that's where I would say follow people, but I really stalk people to see who I want on my show. And I have a lot of friends and my podcast's on there, and the Better Person workshop is there. So everything's on there. Everything's on Facebook. So I think it was before Christmas, and correct me if I'm wrong, Kevin. It was before Christmas that you put a post out about this really beautiful bag.
Right.
And you were like, if you like it, if you comment or post or something, you're going to enter into a raffle. Mm-hmm. Well, people who know me personally know that I am a sucker for a tote bag and a carry bag, a messenger bag. And this was a beautiful leather bag with like really nice pockets. And can you describe it better than me?
It was a leather messenger bag, that, it had padded protection for the laptop. And it was a Samsonite actually, which one I was giving away. So, the idea was, I was getting ready to launch a similar bag on Amazon, and I wanted to get an audience or community, built around my product of people who were interested in those type of things. So the Facebook ad was basically shot in the dark to see who was interested in these type of items. And, the raffle, the contest was basically entering the contest. They would have to give me their email address. So it would be a direct exchange where I would give them a chance to win something in exchange for their email address, right. Which is, I believe, pretty fair.
Well, that's pretty much online marketing 101 now.
Right.
Like you enter this raffle, but I want your info so I can send you info later. And I mean, and I am a sucker for a tote bag. My boyfriend will tell you I will buy them, but then I don't give them away. They're hung behind my door. Because I'm like, no, this one I bought because it has this pocket. And this one I bought because here's where the charger goes. And this one I bought because it has a cool logo. So, yes.
And that's interesting. We'll get to that later, but that's
okay.
Yeah.
So I'm scrolling, and I see, and like, I'm like, wait, this guy's giving away a bag before Christmas? Bull. I'm going to call him on it. And I think I even posted something else, like, oh my God, such a cool bag, and like something cute. I was trying to be adorable to get my name pulled, but it didn't work. Some other guy, I think in Indiana somewhere, he's like, who knows how to use a bag in Indiana? They don't know anything about bags. I'm in California. We know about style. So then today is the 11th?
Today's the 11th, yes.
Today's 11th. So about 4 days ago, I get this message on Facebook. It says, hey, remember we said we're going to give away a bag? And I was like, are you serious? So he's like, all you have to do is go on Amazon and then give us your PayPal number. And I was like, scam.
Oh, okay.
What?
Oh, wow.
I was like, whatever. Cause I don't use PayPal mainly because I was hacked twice through PayPal. So I just stopped using them and I go to Venmo or whatever. So I was like, right, I'm going to give you my PayPal information. And then I thought, I'm not going to open another PayPal just for a bag. And then I'm going to lose all my money. I'm like, whatever. And so then I wrote you with the intention of he's going to let it go. And I'm like, well, I don't have PayPal. And I think you know how you can't translate what you read sometimes, but I wrote it really angry. Like, I don't have PayPal. And so right away you answer was like, would you have Venmo? And I was like, well, there's no way you can't really hack into Venmo. You just send the money.
Right.
Either it goes or doesn't go. That's it. And
Yeah.
Like, So I thought about it. I'm like, okay. So I went on Amazon. I was like, it's less than $40. It's a really cute bag. So if this guy doesn't really send me my money, at least I have a cute bag for $40.
Appreciate that.
And I'm like, I'm about to launch this workshop and I need a official looking bag for corporate appointments. I thought this will look good on me. I wish it was black because I have more black shoes, but I'm not going to be picky. So I bought it and I was like, okay, Daniel, you just lost $40, but you didn't because you got the bag. It's a cute bag anyway. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I send you my tracking number or my purchase ID.
The order ID.
And then not even 10 minutes later, I get my ding from Venmo. It's like, you have money from so-and-so. I'm like, oh, what? And I was like, this dude actually just refunded me the money from Amazon. And I'm getting this gorgeous bag. And I left it in the car and but I'll post a picture for you guys. I'll do another video with the bag.
Thank you.
And I was like, who is this dude? And I think my pitch to you was, I have to meet you. Like, if you have so much faith in your products and what you're selling, then I need to meet somebody with that much security or that much confidence in himself to do it. And I'll let you start talking in a minute, but because I told you too, I have my workshops and my trainings that I do. And sometimes I have to give away a training or a workshop in an effort for those people to go and spread the word. And you just gotta have faith in yourself. So, Kevin Darani, welcome to the show, man. Now that I give them the disclaimer.
Thank you. I really appreciate everything you said. To start it off, you mentioned about me having faith in my product, which I do, but I also have faith in people. And I believe that if you treat your customers right, they're going to come back to you, and building a customer loyalty and the lifetime value of a customer is extremely important. And also word of mouth marketing is the best kind of marketing. So I had faith in people because someone has to make the first move. And as you mentioned, it already appeared pretty scammy to you. The whole thing, you didn't know who I was. Who's this guy reaching out to me? So in a sense, someone had to make that first move. And I believe that if you give someone something of value in the beginning, me making the first move, they're going to come back and they're going to buy again from you. They're going to recommend their friends to you. They're going to leave you reviews on Amazon. It's all going to come back. And it's almost like you just need someone to get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
In terms of the trust factor, I'm like, oh, it hurts me to hear that. It all sounded very scammy because our idea was to make the process as like seamless and safe as possible. And because it's sold on Amazon, which is the platform that we decided to sell on, the reason we decided to sell there is because, number one, it makes the experience very easy. And it almost takes away the element of risk because the customer can return the item for any reason within 30 days.
Let me say this, I shop online constantly because I'm always looking for the best bargain. And if I can do it from the comfort of my home in my pajamas, much better. Because I like to, a lot of those like online super bargains kick in like at 3:00 in the morning when everybody's asleep and only certain people are awake. And you're like, for the next hour, we have this $99 purchase for $20. And you're like, what? And free shipping? Hell yeah. I don't know what it is and I don't eat it, but I'm going to buy it. And then once in a while, I've been caught in some of those like, hey, where's my product? And it's like 3 months later and they're like, we sent it. I'm like, no, you didn't. Like, I'm looking at your tracker right now. Like, I am on your website looking at the tracking of my package. It's still in your office. Like, what's up, dude? Either give me one. So, and I'm a prime Amazon shopper. I always shop there. Right. But you still go.
And I've been scammed before too, and it really, really leaves a bad taste in my mouth because, especially because I'm in this industry, those people that scam, they ruin the reputation of all of us, you know?
Right.
So it is a problem. So one advice I would give people is if you make a payment, if you make any payment online through PayPal and you click the box that this payment is for goods or services, and for whatever reason they don't deliver, you can get a refund from PayPal immediately, no questions asked, if you say that they didn't deliver. So making payments through PayPal is very, very secure, only if you check the box paid for goods and services and not sending it to friends or family.
That's a good tip. All right, Kevin. Well, let's start with your story because now that we've warmed you up a little bit.
Right.
And that was the other thing. I was like, all right, so what is your name? And then he said his name. It's like, let me Google this guy. And do you have a picture? And I was like, let me find out who this guy is.
That's right. So I'm still playing with the idea if I want to be the face of my brand or not. There's two directions. This brand is brand new. It's embryo phase. When I first contacted you, I didn't have a product in place, which is why it took so long for me to get back to you with the consolation prize, which essentially everyone who went to the competition and gave their email were offering this consolation prize. And the people who engaged the most were giving 100% refund. The people who are in the Facebook group, we're giving, a larger discount, like 50%. And the people who aren't even in the Facebook group, but just engage us and clicking our page, we're going to give like a 20% discount. So everyone's a winner in this sort of thing.
I feel special now.
Sorry?
I feel special now.
No, well, you were one of the prime candidates. You got the 100% because.
Yeah, but I really love, because I did brand, my previous life, I was a brand ambassador for about 10 years. So
okay.
I started in Houston, and then when I moved to California, in fact, Brand Ambassadors of Greater Los Angeles page is my page. I started it. And we have over 26,000 brand ambassadors on that page right now. Right,
so exactly.
We're the largest one city page in the country.
Amazing.
Yeah, so when it comes to branding, I get it. I mean, I've done everything from store demos, giving out crackers to people, to large events with Microsoft, where I'm handling 200 staff at a big event, doing events. So I understand I totally get it from the marketing point. I'm like, this guy is brilliant. Like, he knows how to tap his market, and that's the way to do it.
I really appreciate that. I think you could probably teach me a thing or two about branding because I've only gotten into it for the last year, and it's so amazing. It's really something that I'm really enjoying, and the more I learn, the more I know I don't know, and I love learning. I really do. So it's something that I could just really immerse myself in and deep dive and teach myself all these different things. So I'll tell you a little bit about my background. I've been in business for a while, and my expertise is China. I grew up in Hong Kong, and I lived in China for 5 years, and I was working for a trading company there. And basically, a trading company is someone who connects manufacturers with importers. And importers can be either mom and pop retail stores in the U.S. or anywhere in the world, big box retailers, Target, Costco, Walmart. And so any client that wants to buy in bulk from China, instead of working directly with, 50 different factories, I was working with a company that's one point of contact for them, and we give them sort of assurance of like, we will do the inspection for them, we will consolidate everything for them, we will do the packaging for them, the barcoding for them, put it all in a container and ship it out. And they have some sort of insurance that if anything goes wrong or anything's late or not good, there's that sort of liability or responsibility that we take. So we sort of ease the process of the mag from China. About a year and a half ago, I decided to move from Hong Kong to the U.S. To expand the sales, to work on the sales, expand our presence in the market, and find new clients essentially, because I had everything sort of under control in China, and I was basically here looking for new clients. And when I came here, I got introduced to the world of e-commerce, and it's something that absolutely fascinated me, because it was turning an industry upside down, and in a great way, in a way that's better for the consumer, better for everybody. And I really feel like at this moment in time, there's almost like a second industrial revolution going on, where everything seems to be more decentralized. For example, what Airbnb is doing is taking the hotel industry out of, a few corporations and putting it in the hands of individuals. What Amazon is doing is taking the retail industry, putting it in the hands of individuals. What Uber is doing is taking the taxi industry, right, and putting it in the hands of individuals. Bitcoin, they're taking the banking industry and allowing individuals. So everything's sort of becoming decentralized. And with that, it's really amazing, because we have opportunities as little guys or individuals in this sort of day and time that we didn't have 15, 20 years ago, even 10 years ago, 10 years ago, if you wanted to open up shop, you have to pay minimum, $10,000 rent or $5,000 rent a month, right, whatever it costs for the storefront. Now you just need to pay like $10 a year for a domain. If you wanted to 15 years ago, if you wanted to launch an advertisement on TV or in a magazine, it's going to cost you thousands of dollars. Now all you need to do is spend $5 a day on Facebook. If you wanted a warehouse and 24-hour service and staff and logistics, that would be a huge expense. But now you just have to pay $40 a month to Amazon. And so with this sort of new model, it's really trimming the fat off of an extremely bulky, archaic supply chain that we used to have. And the supply chain would essentially look something like this. It'll go from the factory to the exporter to the importer to the wholesaler to the retail. And that's 5 different people touching the goods in the middle. But also there's all kinds of expenses. There's staff, there's overheads, there's rent, there's logistics, there's trucks moving back and forth. And all of that sort of adds on to the price. And so by really slimming this thing down, you're able to go directly, skip all these steps, go directly from the factory to the end consumer, cut a lot of those costs.
Yeah.
And one reason that's good, and this is what I wanted to what I thought of earlier when you were saying what you liked and didn't like about the bag. You said you liked the bag because you wanted it black because it has black shoes, and you like the buckles and something like that. This is what I feel what we're doing that other brands are not doing. We want direct communication with our customers. We want to engage with them, hear from them, listen from them, and really have that sort of open flow of communication so that they also know who they're buying from.
Okay,
And
you don't have to say more. I'm going to come to Florida, help you design a bag, the Garza bag, which will be for the modern day guy that travels with everything in its bag. So
it's so important to listen to your customers. I might know what I like, but that doesn't mean I'm the same as the people who are buying my product, and I need to listen.
well, I wanted to stop you for a minute because, well, first of all, I forgot to ask the question, how do you put it together? Because we're already in the conversation, but you're so right. I'm a huge, huge shopper of Wish, Geek, what's the other one? Home. There's all these 3 little websites that you can get the same things that you can get at the store. Cause I'm on home right now, but I'm big on necklaces and chains and crystals and stones. I go to the store here and I get a stone for $4 and it's one little stone.
Mm-hmm.
I go on Wish and I get a whole bag for $4.
Yeah.
And so when I'm doing readings for people, working on people, it's easier to give them a free stone when I bought them all for a buck than to give them a stone I bought for $4. It's like, that's a little. So you're definitely, and you're right. It's this new shopping experience. Cause like I said, when I was messaging you earlier, which for those of you listening, I just met the dude and I'm like, okay, so you wanted, cause we actually rescheduled. I'm like, okay, I'll get in the shower and we'll do it at 2. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to jump in the shower now. Can we do it at 1:00? And I'm like, I'm going to jump in the shower. I'm like, I don't know why I keep telling you that I'm going to jump in the shower. Like, I just met you. That's how weird it is. But the really cool thing about online marketing now and online experience, let's call it the online experience, is that I can sit down at 11:30 on my computer, order lunch from one of the delivery companies, go online, shop for what I need, maybe buy groceries online, and they'll develop because I have a Whole Foods that's down the street from my house, they could probably deliver them in the same day. So I'm ordering my groceries for tomorrow. I'm ordering lunch for today. I'm paying my bills, shopping for some stuff, playing on Facebook. Food's here. You eat. You keep working. Now I'm going to watch a movie. You don't have to leave. Because the reason I say that is I approach a lot of people who have the brick and mortar places or the storefronts. And I'm like, hey, you want to come on the show? Let's put you. They're like, I don't do online. And I'm like, oh. And as I pan around their business, I'm like, well, maybe you should. There's nobody in here. Does that make sense?
Buying something, it's also not just about the product, it's about the experience. And there's 2 kinds of experiences. There's this experience where you, for example, if you walk into a secondhand bookshop and just looking through the shelves and touching and feeling, that's an experience and you can't take away from that. But also on the flip side, the convenience of just clicking a few buttons from your couch, that's also an experience, you know? So you want a good experience. There's no one right way to get a good experience. You can either offer simplicity, you can offer, you know, just roaming around in a bookshop. There's many different kinds of things, but you can't neglect the experience. The experience has to be part of what you're offering. And it's not to say that online is the best or retail is the best. They're both good in their own ways, but you do have to offer some sort of good experience to the customers.
Right. Because you can't just have a website. Not for me. Because I like going in there and I'm like, okay, let me compare prices and let me be able to move around the product online. But you're right. I don't shop for clothes online because every time I do, it's always off somehow. Speaking of China, they're always Chinese or Japanese sizes. And my taco body does not fit into a soy body. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
Or like when you shop for books or even like secondhand stores, you have to go in there and like.
I love it.
Touch the stuff. It's like
I love it. Absolutely.
Well, let's go back a little further. Like, there has to be a love for business.
Absolutely. There's definitely a love for business, but I didn't feel that sort of love in my previous job. And I do with this because I feel in my previous job, you know, it was stressful. I was dealing with clients who had all sorts of demands and, there was a lot of risk involved also. And, I feel that in in this business, I have an absolute passion for it, which is also something that maybe I wanted to say to your listeners that before this year, I didn't think it was really possible to love what you do. I thought that was just a saying. And for a long time,
I was like, why is she was spinning. I was like, my Alexa. I'm like,
oh,
why is she spinning? What does she want to do? But I could hear her starting to talk.
okay. I must have triggered it.
Something we said probably. Anyway.
Maybe. But last year, it is absolutely possible to love what you do. And I felt like a lot of ways in my previous job, I was justifying why I liked it, or I was making excuses. But I just want to say to listeners, if you don't love what you do, it's never too late to make a change, because it is possible to actually really love what you do. And I experienced that in the last year. And I did something I didn't think was possible. I just thought it was a saying, or, you know, what people would do. I didn't think it was realistic to actually have a passion and go to work and not really feel like you're going to work, you know? So,
well, there's this campaign now going on for high school students where it's like, you don't have to go to college for your college anymore. Like, go get a trade. Everybody wanted to go to college for such a long time. Like, we have enough lawyers. There's not enough things going on for all you lawyers. Like, we need carpenters, we need plumbers, we need people that can do the manual stuff that nobody wanted to do for a long time. Because let me tell you folks, for everybody listening, plumbers are not cheap and they make a lot of money. So
they do. Absolutely.
So were you part of that mentality that I need to go to college, I need to get a degree, I need to get a 9-to-5 job where you stress out? And
I did college almost as a formality and as a life experience. I definitely believe that it's not essential to making money, and especially not if you wanted to start your own business. I don't think it's essential. It definitely helps. I mean, they do teach you stuff, you know, and you do learn stuff, but is it worth it for like $200,000 for a 4-year degree? It's crazy, you know? And in today's age, we're in an information age where you can get any information you want for free online. If you really just want to learn, then you can do that, you know? You're not going to get a certificate that says, you know, you graduated with this, and this.
Go life!
College is, I mean, it's manufactured in a lot of ways. And, I think it's becoming more and more obsolete. I took a course on marketing from a 19-year-old kid who's making, you know, $15,000, $20,000 a month with a social media marketing agency. He's a genius. He's really, really smart, but he learned everything he did on his own. And he's probably going to be much better off not going to college, doing what he's doing. And, there's a lot in this space, in the space that I'm in with e-commerce and Amazon. I'm competing with a lot of high schoolers, and I think it's fantastic. It's scary because they're probably going to kick my ass in a couple of years when I'm over the hill and they're just coming up. And
I'm going to marry one of them when they get older. That's my goal in life now. Just to marry one of those young tech guys. Like, you know what? I got you. I can make you Mexican food. I'm good. But talk about college.
There's a lot of them, so yeah.
You know? So what? We hear that, because I heard this when I went to college in my 30s. I went to trade school first, and then when I was out of high school, and then later on went to college. But long story. We always hear those things in college that are like, you're probably never going to use this, but you need to learn it. Is there something from college that you thought you were never going to use, but you totally like, oh yeah, that's where I learned that? So
I majored in accounting. And I don't tell anybody that because I don't know shit about accounting. And if I tell people I majored in it, they're going to be like, how do you not know all this stuff? But I passed because I crammed the day before. I did it. And it's all such minute stuff that you couldn't even possibly remember it. It would have to be something that you looked up later on, you know? And, I don't retain a lot of the stuff I learned. I learned life lessons for sure. Okay. But who's to say I wouldn't learn life lessons if I didn't go to college? I would probably learn a whole bunch of different life lessons. There's no way you can know, you know, that kind of stuff People see college for networking, but I just feel that like a lot of the benefits you could get from college before you can get other ways now. And I actually believe that your college degree is worth one thing. It's worth getting you your first job. And then everything after that, it's on what happens after that, you know? So it'll get you that first step. But it's a big price to pay for that first step. And if you don't want to get a job, for me personally, my college degree, I've always looked at it as a safety net. But now I don't believe in safety nets. I believe they're bad for you. I believe that if you want to do something, what do they say? Burn the boats, right? Throw yourself into it. Don't give yourself a plan B. Don't give yourself an option out. Just go into it saying there's no other option out. It might be wrong, but that's sort of what I believe.
Okay. You open up, because I was just watching or reading an article on no plan B. Oh, if you have a plan B, you're not really into it. But I'm old school. I'm 48 years old. And in my age, I've discovered that a plan B is not necessarily a cop out of your dream. It's just realizing that the road you're taking is not the best for you. You need to have like a detour, not to deter you from where you're going, but being realistic and saying, like, for instance, I'm producing a talk show. We're in the pre-production stages. I don't have money for production. I really don't. Plan B is, how can I get all the friends that I've helped in my last 10 years in working here in LA or in California to now help me produce my stuff for no money? Because I've been there for them when they needed an extra actor or somebody to drive or somebody to pick up stuff. And I'm like, okay, how can I pull on all those favors now to create my dream? Because I did it for them. Now they can, but you know, you can call on 10 people, but not all 10 people are going to reply. So, do you honestly believe that a plan B is a cop out from your original dream, or do you have to have different roads to look at? Does that make sense?
No, different roads, because I believe that your plan A and plan B, they're different avenues, but to get the same result. You didn't give up on your original goal.
Right.
So it would still be the original goal. Plan B would be like, okay, if this whole thing doesn't work out, let me try a whole different goal or something else. So for me, basically, I was thinking, if being an entrepreneur doesn't work out, let me use this degree that I got in college to go get a job as an accountant.
There's this little paper that says that I'm educated. Whatever.
And I was young. I thought maybe, it would be a good thing to have, but I don't believe in giving yourself a way out. Maybe not a plan B. Plan B is a bad way to use it, but a way out. Don't give yourself a backdoor exit,
So we're talking maybe an 8.2 route, 8.3.
Exactly.
If we're talking like digital age.
Exactly.
Because I always had a dream that my dream is to take over the world. That's my idea. I want people to know who Daniel G. Garza is. I want people to know who Little Mexican Productions are. I want them to know that our primary goal is giving people tools to be a better version of themselves.
Right.
Everything that I work on is, I've done it. I've worked on it to make me better ish. But I want to teach you these tools so that you can become better. But it takes a lot of time to do that. During this process of you launching yourself online, there must have been some stones that you tripped over or walls to have to jump over.
It's been pretty smooth so far. I'm sure I will run into some. I'm trying to think. Stones.
Okay, well, the things have been pretty smooth. What in your preparation has made it that way? Because I've had guests that I asked and they're like, no, and then they're like, I don't think I have anything to show.
So what in my preparation? I mean, I completely immersed myself in the topic and everything about it. But it was very easy for me because I had such a love towards it. It almost felt like, really metaphorically, in my last job, I felt like I was swimming upstream. And in this one, I feel like I'm swimming downstream in the sense that I could put in hours upon hours a day working on this and it will be effortless. It's just so amazing, this feeling. And that's why I want to tell people it is really possible to actually love your work and never have to work a day in your life. And it's just been, it's been a really, really, I'm borderline like workaholic at this point because I spend all day, thinking about it and doing it, which is exciting for me because before work would be a struggle. I'd count through hours till it was over and it would be a struggle to get on my laptop and actually do work. Now it's the complete opposite. I can't wait to do that. And, I've been a little bit risk adverse. I'm quite conservative, so I haven't gone, full steam, which maybe would be one of my regrets. I wish I was a little more risky and take more risks in the business. But, I've been a little bit conservative of engaging. For example, I launched the audience before I even had a product in Amazon. I started the audience before the product was even there. So I had some interest and some people that I could reach out to once my product arrives. But I have big goals with the thing. I want to make it more about a whole line of menswear, which is what I'm doing in the group. And that's something I also have a passion about. I'm really into fashion and style and menswear and things like that. That's something that my whole life I've sort of been into. Whenever I have extra money, I'll spend it on clothes rather than other stuff like that.
Why are we not best friends? How are we not best friends? It's only a whole country that's between us, but how? Bags and
those like discount department stores, not because it's cheaper, because it's about the hunt. I don't want some store to like just tell me, okay, this is good. I want to go out and sift through the racks and find what I like and mix match different stuff that normal people wouldn't put together, and and of course the discounts are good too. But that's something that I like. And so it's two things that I really love. It's business and it's fashion. And I mean, God's been good. I haven't had any major hiccups yet. It's just been it's been an amazing year for me because I'm really, really enjoying the whole process. I love learning. So I spend probably half my hours in action and half my hours in learning constantly because the e-commerce space is changing so quickly. What you know today in a few months is obsolete in terms of marketing and stuff like that. I will say it is a bit of a lonely journey. I do work from home. And I am a one-man show, which I'm not ashamed to say because I feel in a lot of ways it's beneficial. Like I said, it's trimming off the fat of a very bulky operation. But I have networked with, on meetups.com, a meetup with other Amazon sellers and on Facebook groups and stuff with other Amazon sellers. So I am sort of in connection with a lot of those people. But in terms of difficulty, no, I mean, it's been pretty smooth. The only thing that I really hate about business is ironically keeping track of my accounts and the taxes and everything like that. But I really think that if any of your listeners want to start their own business, I firmly believe there's been no better time in history than today. No better time where the little guy has a chance against the big guy. If you go into like Dick's Sporting Goods or Target and you look for the camping goods, you're going to see Coleman everywhere. That's the biggest brand. They're all over the place. But if you go on Amazon and you type in camping goods, Coleman won't even be in the first 5 spots. There's going to be, they're called third-party sellers, which is what we are, essentially little guys. And we're given the same platform as everyone else. And it's just $40 a month, And so it's not anymore a system that's sort of pay to play or a system that the big get bigger and the small guy doesn't have a chance. The barriers are broken for people to enter this sort of the physical products. And if anyone's thinking about making a big change in life, I will say this, being an entrepreneur is not for everybody. It takes a certain kind of personality and it takes a certain kind of mentality. So it's not for anybody. But if it is for you, there is no better time in history than today. And just to put things in perspective, I only bought my first product from Amazon like a few years ago. And if you think about it, rewind 15 years, 2004, nobody was buying from Amazon. So this whole thing is 15 years old, which in the grand scheme of things, it's brand new. Yeah. It's brand new. It almost feels like a gold rush, a metaphorical gold rush, where this whole platform's opened up for little guys to put their products and put their brand alongside these competitors who have been around for hundreds of years and actually have a chance, you know? Even with Facebook, you know, you can send ads for $5 a day and actually get it in front of the people that you want to see it.
Yeah.
And just think about making a commercial. You have to pay for the production. You have to pay for the actors. You have to pay for the screening and everything like that. So we're really going through this change in the world today that I would really recommend taking advantage of and trying out.
It's the same thing. I mean, and that's why I totally dig what you're doing. And I have another question in just a second, but it's the same thing that it does for actors in production now. You can do a mini series on YouTube for nothing. And then YouTube Studios is like here in Culver City near my boyfriend's house, and they will help you produce your stuff. So you can produce an 8-hour series and then just splice it up and put it out there, and you've got your production. You're done.
Absolutely. And that goes into the whole decentralization theme. YouTube is the big one that I left out, is taking the power out of, you know, TV channels and production companies and putting it in the hands of individuals. So in the same sense, if anyone, like, you know, I'm sure you would recommend anyone that's thinking about being an actor to start a YouTube channel, because you can, you know? You can.
But, and like you say, but it takes not looking at it as such a big mountain to climb. It's just another journey to take on. I know it sounds everybody sounds like, oh my God, did you just say that? Yes, I did just say that. I know it sounds like a Hallmark card, but the reality is that I've been in the business now for about 15 years, and I would not be where I am now had it not been for all those little things that I took on my own. Video series that I did, the podcast, doing the interviews live, because I do a lot of Facebook Live stuff too, where I just call my friends like, what are you doing? Like, nothing. I'm like, you haven't been on the air in a while. Like, let's do a Facebook Live. All these things that are given to you, but you've got to look at them as tools. Like, it's a tool because if you start thinking, oh my God, if I get on Facebook, who's going to watch? No one's going to watch it. It's pointless. But people watch. Just like your ad in the middle of everything that I scrolled through caught my attention. People will stop. You just got to have a little bit of faith in yourself that people will do it.
Exactly. We are our own worst enemy. You know, it's all about the belief, and a lot of people don't even make that first move because they don't believe. No one will watch it. No one will buy it. No one will do this. It's all in your head, and that's a big thing. I've been learning. Aside from business, I'm very much into the power of thought. You know, on positive thinking and how you can manifest reality through your own thoughts. And I read a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And it was written like 50 years ago, but it's as applicable today as it was back then. But that's been helping me a lot, you know, in terms of belief, because that's really, really, when it comes down to it, that's all it takes. Belief that you can do it. And if you have that belief, and if you're able to visualize yourself doing it, and write specific goals down, say, this is what I want, very, very specific, and with a date, you know, because a goal without a date is just a wish. So write it down, put a date on it, visualize it, and believe it. And if you could do those 4 steps, this is like the easiest like guide to succeed, but it's much harder than it sounds like. But if you do those 4 things, it's going to happen.
And we'll put those out again before we end the show so people can hear them.
Yeah.
Again, where does your faith, and I don't necessarily mean like spiritual faith. Oh, you know what? Overall faith. Where does your faith come from? How did you get to that place where you're like, I have to have it, or I can't continue?
Where does my faith come from?
Right. And I don't necessarily mean like general, like specific, like religious faith or faith in a, but just
So if I were to say what I like my religion or spirituality, honestly, I believe in the law of attraction. And I'm a very, what's the word? I'm like cynical. I don't believe a lot of stuff. I gotta see it to believe it, you know, and I'm the last person to just believe in something without like proof. I'm a very scientific guy. So I read these books and basically the law of attraction is believing that you can manifest reality with your thoughts and can control the outcome and stuff. So I decided to try it. I said, okay, well, let me try it. If it works, it works. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. Let me actually put this as a test. So I thought about pineapples all day. Pineapple. I started seeing pineapples everywhere. I was like, oh shit, you know, this stuff. I mean, you could basically, anyone listening to this can call me crazy, and that's fine because I would also call myself crazy if I heard it from your shoes. But all I got to do is try. You got nothing to lose, you know? I'm not asking you to believe in something massive. I'm just saying try something. Think about something that you will probably not see all day long. You know, probably you have a very, very small chance of encountering some object or something, and just think about this thing all day long. I guarantee you'll see it. And if you don't have to believe in it. But if it does work, then try it with something a little bigger, then something a little bigger, and something a little bigger. And that's the only reason I believe what I believe, because I've tried it and it works, and I've tried it again and it works. And it hasn't just been one time, it's been over and over and over again. And that's the only way I can believe in something is through trial and error and seeing for myself that it works or it doesn't work. So that is my religion. I mean, I'm not going to believe in some invisible man just because someone tells me to, unless I directly experience it myself, you know.
Well, the good thing is that
with that last thing, you know, but it's just,
but no, you're in a safe zone because the people, the folks that have been following me from the beginning and know my journey, again, we talked a little bit about it earlier. Like I became a Reiki master while I was going through cancer because my teacher was like, you don't have anything else going on. Let me teach you how to be a master. I was like, okay. But talk about workaholics. I was going through cancer and I was like, I need something to do because I can't just deal with cancer right now. I need more.
Right.
But my audience knows, and we've talked about it on the show when we had people on the show, where we talk about spirituality and religion. We talk about, I have a lot of intuitive friends. I do readings. We practice Reiki. We practice with pendulums. We do psychometry. There's a lot of things that we do in order to open that energy and that channel. Vision boards are a huge thing here in my house. So I dig what you're doing. I dig what you're talking about. And it works. It works because we can create our path, negative and positive. Because I work with clients a lot who come in here and they're like, nothing ever works. I suck. Life sucks. Everything sucks. I'm like, of course it is. Because all you've been saying since you got here is suck.
And it's empowering. It's empowering to be in control of these things that you did not think were in your control. You know, when something unlucky happens to you, when something negative happens to you, to take control of that, you know, or I mean, it's essentially taking destiny into your own control, which is very empowering. And I prefer to believe that, you know, instead of just the chaos of what life appears to be.
Well, and I'll put this out there for people listening. Again, it was just one of those things like, here's an ad that caught my attention because I'm addicted to bags. And then I forget about it. You can contact me. And I was like, let's see where this goes. And my faith in my product, like I have a podcast. I want you to be on it. Here it is. And you're like, well, I have a bag and I have faith in that. So I'm like, well, kind of like, what is it? A peanut butter cup. Like, well, let's take your faith and my faith and just put your chocolate in my peanut butter. Let's see what happens.
And here we are.
And here we are. Because for folks who are listening to this, we're shooting this on Friday the 11th. We just started chatting on like Tuesday, right?
And this is so amazing for me to be able to connect on this level and talk about spirituality with someone who's purchased my bag. It's like, it's the best thing that like, because this was my goal, to connect with my customers. That's how I wanted to stand out from the other brands and to have that sort of engagement going on. And this is like the ultimate version of that in a sense.
And this is the beginning of a cool friendship. Let me just say, I tell this to everybody, people who are close to me, who are friends, like really good friends of mine. I've always told them, like, I am in love with my friends. Like my close friends, I'm in love with them because they're either really smart and they make me look good. They have amazing energy and I love being around that, or they're just completely funny. And I'm like, I want you to make me laugh because the world needs more of that. and you just have this, you have to have this energy. Like I don't even have to say, you have this energy that I was like, I want to know this guy. And when I Googled you after you say your name, I saw of course, a lot of people came up with the name. And I was like, which one is he? And then I immediately went to one. I go, I bet that's him. Cause, we're not going to say it, but, I was like, I bet that's him. And I was like, I'm gonna, and I saved the picture.
Okay.
I saved it in my personal file. I was like, and then when I said, will you send me your photo? It was the same picture.
Right. Yeah.
The same one. I was like, oh, I knew it. That's the dude. I'm like, that's the dude. And I even told my boyfriend, Christian, I'm like, I told him, I said, I got this bag. And of course he was like, another bag. I'm like, no, wait. There's a really cool story behind it. And of course, him being him is like, there's always a cool story behind it. Of course there is.
Right.
Like, oh, really, really, really. And I sent him the picture of the bag and he's like, ooh, it's nice. He's like, but it's not black like you like. And I go, I know, but like that,
coming soon, by the way.
That intrigued me more. But no, I'm envisioning coming to, cause I love Florida.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's a good place.
I like the East Coast. I like Florida and I like New York. I go to New York to be in the middle of the chaos because it feeds my workaholism. And it's like, go. Where are we going? I don't know. Just keep walking fast and talk fast because we're going to get there. And I like Florida because it allows me to just be.
It's very laid back.
And then the hotel we stay at is preferred by a lot of the seniors that go to Florida.
Okay.
So we're usually the youngest people there, and I'm in my 40s. So it's real laid back, and it's like they're like, "Hi, like it's all good." So
it's super chill.
But my vision now is there's going to be a Garza bag at some point.
Okay, all right, definitely. We listen to our customers, we give them what they want, and we believe that. I mean, the feedback from our customers, that's the most important thing we can get. So a Garza bag will be amazing.
Because we're recording. For those of you listening, by the time you hear this podcast, we would have already recorded the pilot. In 2 weeks, we're recording the pilot for my talk show.
Okay, cool.
I've been working on this, and I'm sorry to take our time from you, but I've been working on a talk show for the last 3 years since I recovered from cancer. I was like, what else am I going to do with my life? Like, I need to share. And I've had my podcast for 7 years, but I wanted something bigger and I didn't know what I wanted. So I created this idea of a talk show. Because I don't know if it happens to you. Every time I go to lunch with my friends or dinner or whatever, we have the best conversations. Like we have these intense conversations and I'm always like, shit, we should have recorded this. Like this would have been a great podcast.
Right.
So I would come home and tell Christian, like, I went to lunch with the guys and I had the best conversation. And that's always my thing. Like, I went to lunch with the guys. So my talk show is called Lunch with the Guys.
Oh, that's good. I like that. Yeah, that's good.
And it's me and 4 of my friends getting together for lunch.
Right.
And talking about, there's no politics, no religion, and no sports at the table.
All right. Good stuff.
And we talk about stuff like this, like, how are you where you are right now, dude? Like, what got you there? And like, I'm all stressed out. How are you not stressing out? Like, give me your secret so I can better myself. So I kept telling people that at some point there will be like the Garza, suits because I'll have to look good. I like boots. So there's going to be like the Garza boot. So now we need a Garza bag. So when I walk into the production office, I have my Garza bag the way that I want it. The way I want it. Because this is another reason I buy bags is I want a bag that I can carry and be on my phone and work on stuff and not have to pull everything out. And it frustrates me that it has one thing that I want, but it doesn't have the other 10 that I need.
Right, right.
Don't worry. I'm coming to Florida.
I hope you enjoy the one that you,
I'm about to put it to practice. I'm going to transfer everything that I have on my bag now.
Okay.
Over to this bag.
Fantastic.
And, I'll call it the Darani bag for right now. So I'm going to transfer it from my bag to the Darani bag. And then I'll take it out for a test drive and I'll tell you.
Amazing.
I'll tell you. I'm all about this, dude. Okay, so we're down to the last several minutes of the show. And one thing that I always ask my guest is, Kevin Darani, do you have some words of wisdom for my listener?
Words of wisdom for your listeners. I believe that, well, that's a lot of pressure. No, basically, if you want to start your own business, there's no better time than today. If you feel like within your work you're swimming upstream, it doesn't have to be like that. There's another option. And don't put limits on yourself. Whatever you believe you can do, I firmly believe, whatever you believe you can do, you can. And that sounds like a very big cliche, but the catch to that is it's not so easy to believe it, like really believe it. That's not the easiest thing to do. You actually have to trick yourself into believing it somehow. So, I suppose that's as much wisdom as I can give.
I think that's pretty good. Cause I write also and I always avoided, when I first started, I was very cocky. I was like, I don't want cliches in my story. They cheapen it. But then as I got older and health issues and stuff, I'm like, life is one big cliche. And you've got to just fall into it.
It's true.
You can speak in cliches all day long and get your point across.
Yeah. Cliches are cliches because they're overused, but it doesn't mean they're not true.
Yes, exactly. So, next question. In the biography of Kevin Darani, what is the first sentence in the book?
Ooh, that's a tough one. The most memorable first sentence of a book I can think of is it by Charles Dickens? It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. I'd like to believe that applies to me too.
I'm going to write on here when I say about you, because I'm going to, we didn't get into a lot of your younger life, but I'm going to say, because you said that's a tough one, but I'm going to say it's a tough life, but.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah. So when I read your book, it doesn't have to be in there, but if you use it, I want credit for that one.
It's a tough one.
It was a tough one, but here we are, man. Here we are.
I like that. That's good. See, that's why you're the communicator.
Yes.
And I'm just a manufacturer.
Charles Dickens had his time, but we want to make it about you right now.
That's a good one. If I ever do write a book, that will surely be the first line in it.
If you can name this episode, what would you name it?
Follow your dreams.
What's the next dream on your list?
What's the next dream on my list? Well, I like very tangible, practical goals. I like short-term goals. I make my goals in 1 year, then 1 month, then 1 week. I break it down, but the next tangible goal is the next item that we want to launch is going to be a leather toiletry bag. And so if you have any ideas or any suggestions on what you like or what you don't like or anything any advice that you can give us, because we're developing it, and I've found that I'm very good at choosing items, but I'm not so good at creating items. So if you have any advice, we would love to hear what you like and don't like about toiletry bags.
The first thing is a toiletry bag is definitely something that you travel with.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that irritates me is that if you have a toiletry bag and you're going on a trip, although some people might not like it, something with the clear side to it or easy to open that's clear. Because it's really pretty for it to all be covered in leather and or some material, and it's really awesome. But you get to the airport and you have to open it or take it out. But if it has like, for instance, for people watching, you're gonna be like, I can't see, haha. Like if this is the toiletry bag and this is the leather part of it, if this part can like flap, turn it over, and now this is clear.
That's genius.
And that way you can just put it on the trays and it goes through. And then when you get out, you just flap back the leather, snap it, and you covered it up.
That's absolutely genius. Yes. I will send you some prototypes and some designs for your approval if you don't mind.
Because we have these little ones. I also have an ostomy. I have an ostomy surgery a couple of years ago. So I have to carry a lot of stuff sometimes. And it's easier to carry them in one. But if I had a flap that you just opened up and now it's clear, and then you just shut it or zippered it up and it's back to being a leather bag.
Right.
Because who doesn't like to be bougie in a hotel when... But
that was some really gold.
Yeah, something like that. And just, there's always little things that I get frustrated because, again, I have like 10 of them in my closet.
Right.
And every one of them has failed somehow.
Okay. All right. Well, this is good because this doesn't exist yet. So we'll be developing something and bringing it to market and changing the game a little bit. So I can patent it.
Yeah, because like right now, like for instance, now I've paid for the TSA pre.
So pre-check. Right.
Yeah, so most airports you can just walk through and they don't care anymore. But then we travel to a lot of smaller cities where TSA pre still wants you to pull stuff out. Like you don't have to take out your shoes or your belt or anything, but they still want you to take stuff out of your suitcase. And it's like, really? Like, I'm pre, excuse me. But obviously that doesn't work very well yet. I'm not that famous yet.
We've got the toiletry bag for you. So
yeah, but something like that would be really cool. And I think a lot of guys would be like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like I don't have to take anything out or just unzip, lap. There you go. It's open. You can see
stylish and functional.
Yes.
That's what we try and balance. It's got to be style and function. You can't have one without the other.
And I'll give you this one tip that really annoys me about tote bags and travel bags that I hate when they do this now. And I wish somebody would do it right. Like they always put your phone pocket on the side.
Okay.
But when you're carrying your bag, the flap is up here. Even if you cross, if the phone charger inside was here,
I like that too.
So when you put your bag down or you sit down, it's still up front. Because if you put it on the side, you're like, what?
Yeah. We have to have more brainstorm sessions. This is really good.
But if it's up front in the side of the bag, then if you're walking, it's walking with you. So there, I'll put that out there.
Awesome. I love it.
I'll throw those little nuggets out there. I travel a lot, and I'm usually like from here to LA, sometimes and then in LA you're walking to meetings and you're trying to talk to people and it's a pain in the ass.
You need it easily accessible. Yeah. That's really smart.
And then when we're at the airports, I'm like, why don't they make this thing easier? Like the bag is really cool and I look really good with it, but it had this. Anyway, that's enough power talk.
That's good. That's good.
Any last words before we leave?
I mean, thank you for having me. I'm really glad I said yes to this. It's cool. You know, that's also another thing. Just say yes. You never know what's going to lead to what. And it's been a great conversation. And I hope this meant something to at least one person out there who's listening. I've never been given a platform to speak on, so I hope someone found whatever I said valuable to them.
Oh, I'm sure. And I'm not sure if I said this at the beginning, but Kevin was really nervous when we first got online. He was, and one thing that I loved, you were on time. Like you were right there at 1 o'clock. I was like, this dude, I wasn't even ready. I was like, I need to, for those of you listening, do never eat anything like peanuts before you do an interview because it's really horrible. Well, I went a step further. I was eating peanut brittle before we got on with no water. I'm like, okay, Garza, like you're really not prepared for this. But you were on time, and people that follow me know I'm such a sucker for all this stuff. My personal hashtag for this year is 2019 year of yes.
That's what I believe. I really believe it. Yeah.
So a lot of for those of you who are friends and followers of Kevin and are not following me, if you go to my Facebook, you will see I post a lot of different stuff. But anything inspirational that I get that I want to share always has the hashtag things Daniel thinks and 2019 year of yes. Because like you, I have a lot of things that were held in the dream files, and I'm moving them over to the goal files. And saying, hey, I'm 48. I've survived 18 years of HIV, 3 years I'm now 3 years cancer survivor. Like, why are you saying no to life? Life said yes to you. Why are you saying no to life? So for those of you listening, that's my little nugget.
Yeah.
But thank you. This has been a most exceptional conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
And for putting up with my weird, I'm taking a shower. Now that I think about it, I'm like, that was so creepy.
That wasn't weird at all. No, it's
like
absolutely normal.
It's like I've known you for a long time. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna take a shower. I'll call you right after. But
it broke the ice a little bit, which was good. It was good.
To text this guy that I've never met, and I'm like, I'm about to take a shower. And if you put it in the right voice, it's like, I'll call you later, Kevin. I'm taking a shower now.
I took it in the most normal voice possible. So don't.
Well, no, it was intended with the sexy voice.
Oh, okay. Well, now I know.
Hi, Kevin. I'll see you at 1 when I get out of the shower. All right, don't hang up. Let me say goodbye to everybody. For those of you listening, I hope you've enjoyed this conversation. I really, really love making new friends and getting inspired by people. As many of you know, I check out my guests. I stalk them a little bit. I want to make sure that they have a really good put it together story so that they can share it with you guys. And Kevin, by all means, surpassed the put it together story check marks. I want to thank my producer, Mr. Kevin Morris, for all his help and support. Go check out at normalentertainment.com where you can find all the shows on the network. Check me out on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter, and follow some of my craziness photos and stuff that's coming up. Little Mexican Productions. Make sure you check Little Mexican Productions where I have all of the information on the show that we're doing the pilot for. I would love your support on that. Also, there's a lot going on today. Also, if you go over to the Zodiac page, which is on Facebook, didn't like the name that I gave it, so we're negotiating on what name we're going to name it. But if you've been following the All Game, the Tools for a Better You workshop, which is being reduced to Better You workshop, there's already 4 or 5 different exercises on there. Go check those out. Not because I'm doing it, but because they're life changing. They've changed my perspective on some things. And I'm sure they're going to change yours. Go check them out, play along. And if you have any questions, private message me. And if you want a consultation, get in touch with information for pricing and such. Love you guys. Thanks so much. Thank you, Kevin. And this is Daniel Garza saying, hey, put it together.
This is how I put it together.
This is how I put it together.
This is how I put it together.
Subscribe to Put It Together on iTunes, Stitcher, and at abnormalentertainment.com/putittogether. Find Put It Together on Facebook and tweet Daniel at Lil Messican, LILMESICAN. And for more podcasts, comics, books, movies, and more, head to abnormalentertainment.com.
You've been listening to the Abnormal Entertainment Network.